slow me down or stop me now. The hand of God won't be refused. Resist and rest assured, I'll bring it down. I'll make you wish you...
Hey everybody, welcome to the Paranormal Rushour. I'm your host, Ryan Rush, and tonight I'm going to be talking about the Mandela effect. This is something that really intrigues me, um, mostly because it's undeniable proof that something we can't explain has occurred in our reality. Okay. Um, First thing I want to bring to light is the thing that actually made me aware of these crazy changes, and that is these books right here. The Berenstain Bears. See, when I was a kid, these were the Berenstain Bears. The Bernstein Bears. However you wanted to pronounce it, that's what they were. Okay, they were not the Berenstain Bears with an A. Okay, they just weren't at all. Um, you know, I remember it distinctly. Okay, and I'm not the only one. There's millions and millions of people who remember it with the E. Okay, however, these books, which this one was, let's see if I can find a date. Damn, maybe it was before they even put dates on books. Oh no, it's old. I know that. These aren't like just picked them up from the bookstore books. I don't see a date anywhere on there. But these books are not new, not recent. It's so weird, man. Were they not like required to put dates on these? Anyway, yeah, that's what this is. The Berenstain Bears. Okay, I remember it distinctly. My mother, when I was young, when I was a kid, okay, she used to read these books to us. And I remember because she grew up in Tennessee, but the first part of her life was spent in, when the younger part was in upstate New York, and my grandparents were from Wisconsin. So anyway, she didn't really have that, Southern type accent. This, these books, when she would read them, she always pronounced it Stein on the end because that's how like Frankenstein, Stein. Okay, that's how she pronounced it. Um, and she was big on pronunciation and saying things correctly, reading things correctly. She always instilled that in us to make sure that we read things like they were written and said them like they were supposed to be said. And I'm very grateful for that, actually. But nonetheless, that's how I know for sure that this used to be an E, because otherwise she would have read it exactly Berenstain. She would have said that. And being a kid, I would have remembered if a character had the word stain in it. Okay. Now, I don't know. Also, I have another memory, and this has always been in my mind for some reason. I've always held on to this memory for some reason. But a friend of mine and I when I was really young, I'm talking probably like 4, 5, maybe, something like that. A friend of mine and I from preschool were at McDonald's, and her mother had taken us there because she and I were hanging out, I guess, and her mother had taken us to McDonald's and got us Happy Meals, and the toys were Bernstein Bears. And I can remember her mother saying it that way. Steen. She didn't say Stain, because that's the way people would have said it. She said Steen. Okay, down here in the South, that's how people said it. Bernstein Bears. Okay. That's exactly how I remember everyone pronouncing it, aside from my mother who said Stein. So anyway, that's how I know. And just the other day when I was talking to my mother about trying to find these books, or some of them, we had a bunch, I was telling her, I said, this used to be an E right here. And she just started laughing. Like, she doesn't like to admit, I don't think, that weird things actually do happen, but she knows. But I told her, I said, look, I said, how did you used to say that when you read it to us? Because she was acting like, maybe I was just crazy, or maybe we were all just crazy and it's always been like that. I said, no. I said, how did you used to read that to us? I said, how did you used to say that word? Baron what? She said, Berenstein. I said, there you go. You answered your own question. You proved it to yourself, Mother. That's what I told her. She said, you're right. I said, I know. So anyway, why do they call it the Mandela effect? They call it the Mandela effect because back in, I think it was like the 80s, early 90s maybe, when Nelson Mandela was in prison, a lot of people remember him dying in prison. While he was in prison, while he was incarcerated, they remember him dying. Okay, that's what they say. So, then when he actually did die, people were like, no, this dude's already dead. What the hell's going on? This dude's already died. So they call it the Mandela effect because of that. And it's when like a mass amount of people remember something a certain way, and the way that they remember it has either never been accurate, or it changed to where it's never been accurate. Who knows what really happened? But there's a lot of stuff that really gets crazy with this. Let's just explore some of the things that may cause this to happen. Okay, may cause things to change like this. Let's see here. Time travel. Time travel is one of them. Okay, now if someone's traveling through time, okay, they go and wrinkle up the space-time continuum, the fabric that's holding our universe together, that's holding it up in space. Okay, they put a crease in that, and things flip-flop, things go crazy, like things change, things become different. I can't say that that's happened. I don't know. That's something that is a possible explanation for something like this. Now, explanations for things like this are about non-existent. Okay, I mean, to be honest, to be real, ain't nobody gonna explain how every single piece of merchandise that had those words written on it changed. No one's ever going to be able to tell me how that happened. Okay, we're talking everything. And we're talking like from the 1980s. Like, okay, books, cartoons, clothes, video games, lunch boxes, blah, blah, blah. All these products say it with an A now. Even on the cartoon, it says it's animated on the cartoon with an A now. The old school cartoons, look it up on YouTube. So just search them. And it's got an A in it. And even the way they say the words when they're singing the theme song sounds differently. I mean, it sounds like it didn't used to sound like that. They used to say stain. Now they say stain, and it's clearly enunciated that way. So in the song. So anyway, that's crazy. But okay, time travel could do it. Why did they do it? I'll get into that. What else happened that we aren't aware of? A lot of things, I bet. Because these are just things we've found, things we've noticed. There may be a lot of things we haven't noticed that are different as well. And this could all be the result of one person screwing around with time travel. I mean, that's all it takes, is somebody to mess up one thing that we had going on, in the past, and it changes the future. I mean, it's insane, but you just cannot alter the past, and I'm not sure that hasn't happened. Okay, and I'll get into that in a minute. First, I want to talk about the other thing that could have happened, which is a paradimensional shift. Now, there's, a theory, sort of a quantified physics theory where, it goes along with the Big Bang. Okay, the Big Bang theory. The whole theory that everything expanded. Okay, like we had one universe condensed in this small mass, this small volume of a universe that just suddenly one day just expanded at an exponential rate, faster than the speed of light, which is the speed at which something can travel, the highest speed. Okay, so we had this happen. Okay, well, you're having something that expands faster than the speed of light. Okay, you're going to have things not taken with it because it happened too fast. It left some things behind. It threw some things over here, over there, all over, scattered them out. Okay, so it took everything that we had in this one dimension and it dispersed it into multiple dimensions. Okay, each one of these universes, which is observable by someone else. Okay, stay with me there. All right, so then we're talking about we have all these universes now. Okay, well, how about if during the Big Bang, one of those universes, which is essentially the same place that we're in with minuscule differences, what if that one universe stayed with us? Because not all of them, I don't think, could just like pop off into other places. Okay, I mean, and we're talking about universes, which is constantly expanding. They say, it tapered off, but it's still going. So all these things are subject to change. I'm talking about where these universes are, if this is an actual thing, where these universes are is subject to change. They can move. They can go, as it expands, they can move. Just like if something's on the ocean, you got several little floats or something. Well, as the tide rises, it expands out into the land. So you've got these things that are going to move further apart, possibly closer together if two of them go the same place. So what if two dimensions merged? Ours and one parallel, or even just close to ours. merged. Okay. Then we'd have changes. Okay. Now, the reason I say that it was probably a parallel dimension is because back to the Berenstain Bears. Okay, the Berenstain Bears are remembered both ways. Okay, that's the one thing that's flipping crazy about all this. Some people, not as many people, but some people recall the Berenstain Bears with an A. Okay, they remember it, and they saw it. I mean, they remember everything about it having an A. Okay, but at the same time, they remember people pronouncing it Stein or Steen, and they were like they've. And I'm talking about people who have told me this. They've been like, and I always wondered. I was like, why in the world are people saying it? It says stain right there. Why do they say say it differently? It caused them some confusion, as you can imagine. It's crazy. Let me just I did a video on this on my frosted forest Sasquatch channel 2 years ago, and I want to read a comment that that was really neat, and this was from 2 years ago. I'm not going to say who the person is, but they said they appreciate how I experienced it, but they said they can remember being in their friend's room back in the 70s and wondering why everyone was saying Stein when Stain was right there on the cover. He said, I know that I had that question in my mind back in the 70s. He remembers everyone. I don't even know if it's a he, to be honest, but they remember everyone saying it that way, or a lot of people saying it that way. There's a lot of other ones though that had said this. They said the same thing. One person, I'm not gonna read that one, but anyway, yeah. And then another person said they remembered it sounding like stain, but it was spelled Stein. That's weird. I've honestly never heard of anybody else having that happen. Huh. That's interesting. Anyway, yeah, so that's just some of the reactions I got, a lot of people though, like this one, wow, as soon as you said the Berenstain Bears, I immediately pictured it on the books being spelled with an E. I mean, everybody remembers it one way or the other. And I do believe most people remember it with the E. I've only met a few that remember it with an A. And it's weird, like, okay, when I actually found out about this, I called my mom immediately because a girl at the bookstore had told me about it one day. And I was like, I had no clue what she was talking about. So she told me just go home and Google it because it was more than she could explain. I was like, okay. So I went home and Googled it, and I was like, holy shit. I lost sleep, literally. I laid in bed awake thinking about how in the hell this happened. It was profound for me. I mean, really profound, because it was proof. It was proof positive that something happened, something changed. Okay? Just absolute proof to me. Anyway. So, but when I found out about that, it was just crazy. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it, and ever since then, I've been pondering it literally ever since then. Probably about 3 years now that I've known about this. Been pondering it, but So anyway, what happened though? Did our dimensions merge? Had we already been transient in a dimension? Okay, and just never seen that book before until, until now. I mean, it's possible that we've moved in and out of a parallel dimension, but we've never noticed the things that would distinguish it, if you follow what I'm saying there. Like, for instance, say that dimension is outside the door. Well, the books are in here, they're not out there, so I'm not going to see them out there. So perhaps when I go out there, if I did see one of those books, maybe it'd have an E on it. I don't know. There's no way to tell. So anyway, that's just one of my theories, and I hope I got that through adequately and not too. I wasn't too like all over the place with it. Sometimes it's hard for me to explain how I envision quantum theories, quantum entanglement. It's something I've given a lot of thought to in the past. I've studied it a lot, but anyway, it's always fascinated me. And especially now that I have proof of something like that occurring. Yeah. I mean, the whole way that they found out about this to begin with was when Jan Berenstain died. And I'm calling her that because that's what they said their name was. And has always been. Her son said that, actually. Jan and Stan's son. The thing is, okay, when she passed away, of course they wrote it up in the newspapers. A lot of newspaper articles were written about her, and a lot of people saw that her name was misspelled from the way that they remembered it. So they start calling into these newspapers and being like, "Look, man, you guys messed up, man. No, we didn't mess up. It's always been that way. This is the name that's on the death certificate." So that's how it was spelled on there, on her death certificate. Her son gave the whole lineage of their name, I believe, and he made the claim that it has always been Berenstain. Ever since he's been alive, it's been Berenstain. And I mean, even, you look at the books and their names, Stan and Jan Berenstain, right there. So, I mean, right there at the bottom. There you go. So, anyway, that's what it said. So, what the hell? I mean, that's what you say about it. Okay, so we got this dimensional shift that's a possibility. Things exist differently than they did now. So, well, what else exists differently? Okay. Well, we know there's the Berenstain Bears. They're different. Okay. We've got countless movie lines and song lyrics that people claim have changed from the way we remember them. We're talking like big movie lines, like Star Wars stuff, like the "I am your father" line and all that. They say that's different. They said there's a lot of things in Star Wars, I think, actually, that they say are different for some reason. Also, logos, companies' logos, a lot of those, there's been subtleties found in companies' logos, and some of them have even changed color. And there's a woman who has a video. I saw this. I don't know the legitimacy or whatever of the video, or how authentic it actually is, but she has on video like a Chase Bank sign changing color to the color that it is now from the color it used to be, I believe. Like literally changing color. Like all those signs, their logo changed color. It's now like purple or something. It used to be like blue or something like that. But yeah, they all changed color. And they say it's always been that way, I think. Pretty sure that was the story. So, but you can look that up and check it out too. There's a video of it. Like I said, don't hold me to it if it's not real. Because how am I going to know? But anyway, very subtle changes, like they say the Ford logo. Okay, it has a little swirl on the end of the F, where the line crosses the F. There's like a little curly Q on it that they say wasn't there before. I don't know. I honestly can't remember, but I don't recall that being there. But I honestly can't remember. I didn't ever pay that much attention. I haven't owned too many Ford. Have I ever owned a Ford? I don't think I've ever owned a Ford. I don't think so. Had Chevys. I've always preferred GMs over Fords, I believe. Anyway. But none of it's ever made that much of a difference with me. It's not like I'm totally against a car because of what it is. I'm not like that. I like all kinds of cars. But anyway, okay. Yeah, stuff like that. There's all kinds of stuff like that. I've heard all kinds of cereals and names of stuff like that, all shit like that. There's tons of it that people say has changed. Some of it, I don't ever remember it being any different, and neither does anybody else I've ever talked to. Maybe like a handful of people. Oh yeah, I remember it. It used to be that. No, man. Millions of people. It's not like the Berenstain Bears, where millions of people remember it differently. Okay, that's why I don't even mention that stuff usually. But I'm also wearing a Mandela effect, actually. These, okay, right here, my headphones, they say they're Beats headphones. I didn't, they were a gift. Anyway, they're not my favorite, but they are decent. They say Beats by Dr. Dre. When I got these, they said Beats by Dre, and that was it. Okay. So that's changed too. I know that for certain. And that's one of the more recent things actually that's changed. It's definitely one of those things that changed, and the thing about it is, I'm trying to remember the year I got these. I'm pretty sure it was 2016 or somewhere around there. Okay. So, when I got them, they said Beats by Dre. So this is something that has changed within the past few years. I know that. So, because one day I looked at these before I wore them a lot like I do now. I looked at them and I was like, no, that thing used to say that. So I looked it up, and yeah, it's changed. I'll Google it. Tons of people are like, that did not used to say Doctor. It just say Beats by Dre. It's crazy. It's crazy. It even looks different to me when I look at it. I'm like, man, it just doesn't even look right. It used to just be like that long, and now it's like that. It doesn't even look right. So, but anyway, that happened too. And one of the most significant examples I can give you is the Kennedy assassination. All right, John F. Kennedy, when he was assassinated, the way I and pretty much everybody who was alive back then when this happened remembers seeing it, is that there were 4 people in the vehicle when he got shot. Okay, 4 people. 2 Secret Servicemen in the front, him and Jackie in the back. Okay. Now there are 6 people in the car. I remember seeing those pictures all my life, man. All my life I've seen that footage. And I always remember seeing it with 2 rows of seats in the car. Now the car is a flipping limousine, and it's got 3 rows of seats and 6 people occupying the vehicle. The governor of Texas and his old lady are in front of JFK and Jackie. And okay, I mean, what happened there, and why are people not flipping out about that? I mean, really. There's even like kind of proof of this, because people have built replicas of that and recreations of it that didn't change. They still have 4 seats. So, I mean, tell me what you think about that. Leave me comments about it and let me know what you guys think about the JFK thing. Here's another thing I think about. Okay, what if that the JFK thing, okay, what if that is the reason everything changed? What if they went back in time to, and this is me getting into my conspiracist side again, but you'll see that comes out a lot with me, because I don't trust everything, and I especially don't trust the people that tell me to trust them. Well, let me rephrase that. The people that tell me to trust them, which I've never met. So what if that was the case? What if they actually went back in time to change the past by changing what happened to John F. Kennedy, or what happened in that scenario? Okay, to change it up a little bit, to make the evidence more so complex. More cut and dry, because there's always been a lot of mystery shrouding that assassination. A lot of theories. Okay, everyone knows that's a flippin' controversial subject right there. And to know that, that's changed. The thing is, like, why have these people, well, I guess the people in the news were told to shut up, probably, if they ever asked anything about it, but still, not everybody's, I don't know, maybe some people do remember it was 6 seats, but I've never, ever spoken to anybody who remembers there being 6 people in the car, for sure. Never. So, I don't know about that one, guys. I really don't know about that one. There's something up with that, big time. Something that historical to have such a big detail changed, like extra people added to it. That's heavy, dude. That's a major detail that's changed. So, I don't know, but possibly if they did go back and do that and change something like that, then they have changed other things, and it affected everything from that point on, which I don't believe the Berenstain Bears had been around until after that happened. I need to check that out. I need to see the chronology of all this. Because there's something, I bet you, connecting it to that Kennedy thing. And I'll bet you Mandela effects did not show up at all until after that happened. Because these things may not even have existed then. So it may have changed them to begin with. I don't even know, man. I'm getting way off on some theories, so let's just shut up right here, Ryan. All right. I mean, but that brings me, to the point, well, what have we not seen that's changed? I mean, there could be other things out there, man. We could have, like, so many things that we have not noticed yet. Like, I mean, stuff that people don't even look at anymore. Like a freaking, an old cell phone or something that used to say this, now it says this. I mean, stuff like that we don't even pay attention to. It's reached obsolescence and no one has it laying around anymore. I mean, it's, stuff like that could have changed too, and we had no idea. Um, older things like old software, technology, changes so rapidly. I mean, a year ago, my phone was like on the cutting edge. I mean, for real. Yeah, I mean, it's insane. It's insane. Not that long ago, this phone, which is a phone I use strictly for um, the Paranormal Rushour. It's a S5, I think. Oh man, that thing was freaking revolutionary. Like the first water resistant phone and all that stuff. So I mean, but it came out a few years ago, like not that long ago, probably 3-4 years ago. Now it's ancient, ancient. I mean, like I remember when the first cell phone, first color screen cell phone came out. It was back in 2004, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was 03 or 04. And it was a Nextel. The little beep beep. Those phones. Yeah, I had those. Everybody did. Like, you were nothing if you didn't have a two-way radio on your phone. Because that was the way to go. And I really liked it, actually, now that I think about it. It was real convenient, especially at work and stuff. But I don't know why that didn't catch on. I mean, why don't they all have a two-way also? I mean, nowadays they could put them on the side of there and you wouldn't even know it's there. You don't have to use it, but it's there if you want it. I don't know. It was always cool to me, I thought. But anyway, some people didn't like it. They didn't have to get it. That's just way off topic. It's just something I was thinking about. Sorry. Anyway, let's get back to this, though. Okay. I mean, so we're still discovering stuff. And I think we're going to be discovering stuff for a while. Because I don't know if they've stopped doing stuff like this. I don't know if they've actually continued on going and, messing with crap back in time. Or if everything's good now and they're not, I don't know. I don't know. There's another thing I want to discuss that might have something to do with it, and we're talking about CERN. Okay. The Large Hadron Collider. That thing, the LHC, man, they're smashing atoms together. Like 8 million atoms per second are smashing together in that thing. They're colliding those beams like that. And you're talking about a lot of matter being broken apart. Sorry. You're talking about a lot of that. And in my opinion, that is just, I don't know if we need to be messing with it or not, to be honest. I know they're doing some great things some revolutionary stuff, like, they found the Higgs boson. I mean, I was like, man, that's something. Even that was weird because they shouldn't have found it. They shouldn't have found it like where it was. It was way off from where it like lives. It was nowhere near that. So that roused a bunch of questions that these guys have. So now they're really trying to figure out why they found it there. However, CERN right now is currently shut down until 2021 for maintenance. They do maintenance every like 2 years or so, or four. I think they do maintenance every 2 years. They shut it down for 2 years, every 2 years for maintenance. And that's where they're at now with it. They're actually doing maintenance. And so the collider is not functioning at the moment. But while they're doing these maintenance and upgrades to it, okay, when they were like smashing particles together, hadrons, they were doing it a whole lot. And I've heard things like they opened up portals. They had crazy shit happen. Like, I've even heard that they opened up like a gateway to hell, they thought. They're like screaming and stuff, or who knows. I mean, that's heavy, man. You don't, I don't joke about that, and I hope they didn't do anything like that, but who knows? I mean, who knows? But they did smash tons and tons of atoms together. And I don't think that there's any way that they couldn't mess with something by doing that. I mean, you're taking, what makes up everything in our world, and you're just blowing them up, man. Like, wrecking them together, 8 million of them per second. Or maybe it's 80 million of them. I don't even know. A whole bunch of them. So who knows? But that's what they're studying. What happens after they bust them up. And they're finding these particles. I mean, they found the God particle. And that's why I'm not sure that the Big Bang thing isn't holding some water. I don't know. I mean, I really don't know. But something else that's weird about all this stuff is that ever since these Mandela effects have been coming to light, there's been an uptick in other paranormal activity. And what I mean by that is like everything. Like, we're talking about like an uptick in Sasquatch sightings, UFO sightings, and not just an uptick in sightings, but I know for a fact the Sasquatch have been coming in closer than they used to be. They used to be way out in the woods, Now they're coming in closer to residential areas and other places. And I know that, they I'm gonna wait on that. But anyway, yeah, the UFOs too, man. There's so many UFOs being sighted now. I mean, even, and I'm going back to the Navy, putting forth their UFO report protocol. I mean, because of the uptick in UFO activity that they've seen actually over their base in their airfields, they've had in their airspace, they've had multiple UFOs. And I'm talking about like multiple UFOs up there, 4 or 5 of them flying in formation above these things. So, I mean, you got that going on, man. I don't know. I mean, it's just like everything that's going on with all of this stuff, there's something up with it. I mean, is it all a coincidence? Something like that coincides with each other. I mean, like, you discover all these weird changes with the world, and now you've got an uptick in paranormal stuff going on. And I mean, this is a major thing, like major change. This isn't like some kind of just, people who are afraid of it will laugh it off and tell you you're crazy and stuff, but it don't matter, man. You can't deny this. A million, I mean, well, even a million people, but like millions upon millions of people are not going to have the same bad memory. Okay? They're not. You cannot tell me that all of us just remember it differently. No, dude. No. I know what I saw. I mean, I know what it looks like. I mean, I can see it clearly, you know? And I mean, that's so crazy to me, though. You know, there's a lot to this. And I mean, okay, also look at this and think, wow, okay, this is one of the craziest things I've ever seen. This is proof of it. I mean, this is physical evidence that something crazy happened. Something just that inconceivable to us, pretty much. That's what this is to me. I mean, that's what it seems like to me. And I'm saying that because it's well, it's important to notice this. It's important. There's going to be some importance from all this. Okay. What happened in 2012? Can anybody tell me what happened in 2012? I remember something was supposed to happen in 2012. And, it was right after 2012, right after the date that they said it was going to be, the end date, 21st of December or whatever. Right after that, man, is around the time I think this stuff started coming up. So, I mean, it's kind of weird to me. Okay, why is it just now coming up? I mean, I don't know. Did no one notice it before, or was it just not like that before? I don't know. But, I mean, for it to exist both ways at the same time, simultaneously, like you have someone reading it one way and hearing it another way because this other person seeing it a different way, seeing it spelled a different way at the same time you're looking at it. So that means, like, say you got universe A and universe B. Well, that means universe A and B are more or less one. You just have people that perceive this universe and people that perceive this universe. Okay, well, we've all shifted to one side. I really kind of wish it was the E side, personally, but we did. We moved from one side to the other. Okay, that's what happened. Now, don't ask me how it happened. I've given you my ponderings on it, but let's just say that this is what actually happened, and you have dimensions that merged. Okay, well, if that is what occurred, then why would it be so far-fetched for people to think that there are beings out there that can move in between dimensions. If we can do it, then why is it so far-fetched that something else can do it too? They can just do it on command when they want. And we can't because we've forgotten how. We have the ability. Of course we have the ability. We can do so many things that we don't do because we've forgotten how. We've been conditioned to think that we can't do them anymore, when in fact we can do them, and there are people that can do them, but they don't. So I don't know. But that's really about what I wanted to say on this. Now, I mean, and there's some other ones. I'll give you an example of like the song. One of the songs I remember there being an example of is like Queen's We Are the Champions. Like at the end, it's something about of the world when he says that, like he used to not say it or something at the end of the song. I don't know. That's what I remember though. Something about We Are the Champions or whatever. But anyway, yeah, there's so many things and so many that we're probably gonna find out about. And I'll give you updates when I find out about them. And I hope you guys will give me updates when you find out about them. If there's one that you know of that's really, really cool, like the Kennedy assassination or the Berenstain Bears, please let me know about it because I want to know about all these that I can. Now, there's that one, what is it? Shoot, I was thinking of something else I was gonna mention to you guys about it, but I cannot remember now. Oh well. Anyway, but yeah, if someone does have, know something that I don't about this stuff, please let me know, because I do definitely want to know about all of them that I can. It's very interesting to me, and the more examples I can get of it, the better understanding I think or the better I can understand it, because I look at the timelines and stuff like that and when this stuff changes, and I try to piece things together. And what I was talking about tonight was just my theories. Okay, I want everybody to know that. That's my theories. They're my personal thoughts. I just share them with you guys. I don't expect anyone to believe them. I don't try to get anyone to believe them. I'm not trying to convince you of anything that you don't want to believe. Everything is up to you guys. You believe what you believe. I believe what I believe. And I'll listen to you and what you believe also, because I like to know how other people think. I think it's interesting, and I sometimes get very good insight from listening to it. So, I just know that nothing like that's wasted on me. If you guys want to tell me something, let me know. But anyway, I've gotten some really awesome stories lately emailed to me, and I'm going to do a show soon where I talk about a couple of them, and they are, there's probably like 3 or 4 I have right now that are really good, and so I'm gonna be sharing those probably in the next couple days on my next couple shows. I haven't decided which one yet, but I'm going to do one where, because a couple of these are pertinent to each other, so I'm going to read a couple of them on a couple of these shows and discuss the topics. I'm also going to be having a guest on very, very soon. I'm getting everything worked out right now to where I can do it, have a guest caller, and we're going to have one of those very, very, very soon. And I'm going to want you guys to call into the show also. I know I've secured a number right now. I believe it's 401, like something, but the last four digits I know are Rush, RUSH 7874. So anyway, I'm gonna try to keep it something like that so I can remember it and you guys can too. So you can call in and talk to me about everything. So anyway, that's the vision I have for the Paranormal Rush Hour. And I want to thank you all so much for watching and giving me all the views that I've had so far. My gosh, I've been like, I really thought it was going to go a lot slower than it did. And man, I thank you guys so much because I mean, it makes me feel really good to know that I can entertain you guys, for a little bit. And hopefully you don't look at it as a major waste of your life because I do hope you get something out of it. I try to make sure that I can leave little nuggets of information that's not totally useless for you. But anyway, if you've made it this far and you haven't subscribed, you totally need to hit that button, hit that subscribe, and the bell. That lets you know when the shows are up. Also, check out the Facebook Paranormal Rush Hour Facebook page. Leave me a like there if you hadn't checked it out. And Instagram. I'm still trying to do Instagram, so hop on over there and follow me on Instagram. And I'm going to be getting a lot more active on it now too. So anyway, I guess that'll be that till next time. And I really appreciate everybody checking out the show and interacting with me about it, leaving me your comments and your emails and stuff. And remember, if you have a story you want to share, send it to me at paranormalrushhour@gmail.com. And I will always keep your name anonymous unless you specify otherwise, unless you tell me you want me to use your name. Then I don't mind using it. However, I will otherwise always keep your name anonymous. I'm not going to tell anyone who you are. So if you want to be famous, tell me and no, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to make you famous with all the millions of people watch me. Hopefully one day, though, I can make all of us, something with that. But anyway, I'm going to head out because I've rambled enough. Okay. So, I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to tell you guys. But, I don't know. I've got a Frost 4 Sasquatch video coming up really soon. So be on the lookout for that. And I'm going to try to keep my schedule on here, like my every 2 or 3 day schedule for new shows on here until I can do it more frequently. But it takes a really long time to upload this stuff, especially when you live out in the sticks like I do. So I'm doing the best I can with the time and speed I'm given, bandwidth I'm given. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, I'm out, and I hope everyone has a great couple days, and I'll be back with you ASAP. So, thanks, everybody. Good night.